The thoughts that keep coming into my head are little flashbacks of the close encounters I've had. You're just so tuned to every little sound. You feel like they're hearing your heartbeat. Your heart's beating so fast. The intensity of those encounters is some of the most memorable and intense experiences you could ever have.
When I took my hunter safety course, the instructor had this Alaska bowhunter magazine. He holds up the magazine and here's this picture of some kid that killed this really nice ram with a stick bow, and the guy was sort of dripping with disdain, like, how in the world would you manage to take this beautiful old ram with a longbow? And I'm like, oh, it's my friend, that's Paul, right? It's a photo of Paul. He's just a traditional hunter. So Paul is a father and a husband. He's a professional ski guide. He's a whitewater kayaker. He's a physician. It's a pretty significant hospital system in Western Alaska. And then of all the things, hunting is what captivates him the most.
Yeah, I don't know a better shot. I don't know anyone that can shoot a bow any better and hunt any better than my son. He's really good at that.
In the last 4 years, I think it's 3 rams that he's taken, and they've all been super old, really beautiful animals. He is able to get in on them in a way that's pretty hard to fathom, honestly. I think one of those sheep he shot at 10 yards, you know.
Do you remember which moose this is? You and I spent a lot of time on this moose. So my dad was always a bow hunter. I joked that he did it initially so he had extra seasons to hunt, and then he kept doing it with the recurve because he was too cheap to buy a compound bow when they came out.
Traditional archery is archery to me. It's just archery to me. Compound's wonderful, but it was always something we're proud of. We're up on the haul road hunting with our bows, getting within 15, 20 yards. We live for that.
Wander around the tundra with my bow by myself every morning for a few hours. I think for us as a family, these pictures represent like thousands of hours of us being out there together. To me, that's the really cool part.
It's some of the best stuff we've done together.
For sure. That's the best memories of my life. I feel like some of the moments with my dad that were most special and most memorable in my life were moments where I was holding a bow in my hand.
Whoa! Got it!
And watching Ren pick up his little bow and be really excited about it, it gets me really excited. I can't help but think about the experiences I hope we get to share together.
Whoa! Nice shots!
I don't think my excitement about this hunt is about killing a sheep. My excitement about this hunt is being able to spend a month in the Chugach pursuing them. Chugach is, in my opinion, one of the coolest, if not the coolest mountain range in the world. This ridge, I think, could give us access to a place that I think sheep go, especially if they get pushed around. But this corner is pretty intimidating. There's no other way to get to those sheep. It's a 1,000-foot sheer wall the other side. I've often thought that if I could make it to here, that would be a real ace up my sleeve if I had a safe way in and out. And so that's the whole point of coming up here this summer, to figure this out ahead of time. Elliot's an expert in rock anchors. So we're gonna put some anchors in and secure a line. I also think that it's gonna feel a lot scarier up here when it's wet and windy and potentially snowy. And so having these lines in now will hopefully make it feel a little safer to be coming in and out of here.
Daddy, this is pretty muddy. I know it would mean a lot to him to spend time with the sheep out there. And whether he chooses to take one or not, I'll be curious. You know, he might want to just touch it and then leave.
I've I've always really enjoyed the style of hunting where I get to go out for a long period of time by myself and just have nothing else to focus on but trying to find sheep. A lot of times, especially when you're looking for an older animal, you find them and then you spend days trying to get that particular one. This is like my favorite part of the hunt. In a lot of ways, it's like anticipation, the excitement of like what's gonna happen. But yeah, definitely nervous, definitely excited. The style is basically backpack based, walking and glassing until I find the mature rams.
Hunts the animal just like a predator. Everybody else, these other sheep hunters, they go up and they come back down. Yeah, I had a great day. Well, Paul is still up there wherever the sheep live.
One of the things that I don't agree with is this portrayal that sheep hunting is this grueling, goal-oriented mission where it's all about suffering and fighting through the hard weather and the rough terrain to come home triumphant with a ram strapped to your pack. The real beauty of sheep hunting is the fact you get to spend all this time in these cool places with these awesome animals.
I go on so many hunts and there's always this like level of suffering that people have, and oftentimes it seems like people aren't really enjoying themselves on this hunt so far. Like we've had some pretty gnarly hikes, some wild weather, some steep terrain, and Paul always has a smile on his face. He's always laughing. He's just like so happy.
It's fun.
Oh, you're feeling really bad.
It's really freaking fun. It's super fun to go sheep hunting. If it feels like this grueling mission, I feel like you're doing it wrong. It should be fun. The best case is always getting the sheep on the last day, because then you got the most amount of hunting possible. There's the rams.
There they are down there.
I think it's pretty likely I'll get within 50 yards of them, but getting within 30 is a real gamble.
Probably the coolest element of hunting, especially bow hunting, is just like getting close to animals. With Paul choosing to hunt with trad bow, I mean, his far end of his range is like 30 yards. And so he's got to get really, really close. It was so wild yesterday. We were on that stalk and he got basically 50 yards from this ram, and that's too far. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that thing is totally in range for most compound shooters. And yeah, he was 20 yards out of the game. So the thing with trad bow hunting is you gotta get really, really close.
You guys see how close I got? That was like 50, easy from the big one. Easy 50.
After you've been out there for a week or so, I just feel way more tuned in. The most trivial stuff drifts away in the first couple days. I've just relocated the two rams, including the big one, but they look like they're in a pretty decent spot right now to me. I'm not sure what to do tomorrow. I would probably start trying to carefully get above them. I'd say they're definitely the most challenging animal I've ever hunted. You know, I go goat hunting now, or deer hunting, or caribou hunting, and I'm pretty confident, even with that longbow, that I'm going to get one. But sheep, it's never a foregone conclusion, even if they're in a perfect spot. I mean, I've never hunted any other animal that is so easily spooked, so easily deterred from their path. You know, they catch one little glimpse at 300 or 400 yards, and they just change their behavior to go a different way or do something slightly different. Well, here we are, day 6 on this ram. Got 50 yards from him. My feet are like blocks of ice. The sheep is in a terrible spot. I don't think we're going to kill this ram today. This morning there were 8 rams within 300 yards of our tent. The rams are bedded right above us. But I think the play is to try to set up an ambush in that howler over there. Being within, you know, bow range, or even, you know, really close, almost touching range of a wild animal, especially in the context of hunting, is, it's really hard to describe. I think we're in a pretty good spot. I'm excited. As good a setup as we have. We're close. Settle in. Those experiences that I've had like that are just so intense. You feel like they're hearing your heartbeat. Your heart's beating so fast. You're just hyper aware of everything when you're that close. He passed me at 20, 25 yards. Yeah, it's any ram tag, so I could have legally shot him. But I'm looking for an older ram. That was pretty exciting.
But like, why? If you can, why wouldn't you?
It's always better to shoot an older ram because those are those less likely to make it through the winter and less likely to have an adverse effect on the population. One of the weird things about hunting, particularly sheep hunting, where you get one tag per year, and in this case, I draw a tag that I'll likely never get again. You let the arrow go, the sheep dies, it's done. 12 months, you don't get to do it again. Oh man, Aaron and Ran are coming in today on the bike, and I'm really excited to see those guys. It's been way too long. If I didn't have those guys in my life, I'd spend months doing this if I could. I really miss Ren when I'm gone, and especially these young years where he's different. You know, I come back after 2 weeks and he's saying stuff different. His body moves differently. You know, he's like, he changes so fast right now.
Yeah, what do you think about sheep?
Are sheep hard?
Yeah, sheep are pretty hard. Maybe the hardest. That's why Daddy's been in the rain for 2 weeks. I think he likes that, man. My wife is awesome. I know it's really hard on her when I'm only available by a satellite messenger for 3 weeks at a time. She knows that that is just an essential part of who I am and how badly I need it. But I have no illusions that it's a pretty selfish thing.
It said if I was a little girl.
Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic change after rain every single day. It appears we might have our first rainless day. So even before being a dad, I've always spent a lot of time thinking about the level of risk I'm willing to take on and the things I do between heli ski guiding, whitewater kayaking, and these long solo deep wilderness backcountry hunting trips. Those are all things that are, I think, objectively fairly dangerous. Welcome to traditional bow hunting. We're now going up to the glacier at 4:40 at night. I mean, this probably isn't the dumbest thing I've ever done hunting, but it's probably in like the top 10.
I mean, an obsession suggests that there's something unhealthy about it, right? That you can't turn away, that it's sort of not a choice almost, and a dedication is like the opposite of that. You're continuing to choose that path. And I think it is the latter for Paul.
Legend has it, big old rams live up here. Feeling a little nervous about this unknown ice, but traveling fast right now. It's one of the hardest things to figure out right now in my life is that balance between doing the things that I feel like kind of define who I am and then making sure that Ren's dad isn't going to get himself killed and leave him without a father. Yeah, that was probably a pretty sketchy thing to do in the middle of the night. It would have been pretty cool if there had been a huge ram up there, but it was just ewes and mountain goats. The flip side is, when I get back from those experiences, I feel like I am in every way a better person, a better father, a better husband, a better doctor. I feel like it's just a reset for me. For whatever reason, I just need that.
I think Paul likes to experience something that's really hard and follow through and persevere. Going to hunt all sheep with a longbow is about as hard as you can make that.
I get deterred, but I don't get, I don't quit. I also have hunted long enough to know that there's often times when you think that there's no chance, and then a chance happens. Oh God, 4 full days. I'm planning on spending all of them up there. No matter what, sheep or no sheep, I'm done Saturday night. If I'm doing it right when I'm sheep hunting, the resource most limited is the time I have to hunt, not the amount of energy I can expend. I'm willing to pretty much push myself as hard as possible. I mean, that's what I'm here to do. I will struggle much more in the aftermath if I felt like I didn't give it everything I had. For the interaction to feel meaningful to me, for whatever reason, it needs to be this hunter-prey relationship. I feel like that's how I best get to interact with and experience and understand sheep and just experience their world. At first I thought it was rock falling. I looked up and saw they had just headbutted each other. Just steam blowing off their bodies. I've never seen anything like it. This is the kind of stuff you miss out on if you go on early in the hunt. That's incredible. Let's check out how beautiful this night is. The Chugach at its finest. So, big day today. Got up at 4-ish, got in position, full curl ram. 50. Oh, what happens today? Bed down to me. I was in a perfect spot behind the altar and I had a window like this big. And so I decided to shoot. And 100% clean miss. Deflected. I saw the branch move after the shot. I just watched him for 5 minutes. He's totally fine. So that's just bow hunting, you know, half an inch higher. We'd be cutting up a ram right now. I'm bummed, obviously, because I think the arrow was on track, but it's tough.
Anything else?
No.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, he's got a big care bone. When stuff goes sideways, he gets pretty broken up about it. Maybe Paul's weakness is feeling like he is able to execute perfectly everywhere and that he should never screw up because it's all in his hands.
Well, that's it. 30 days. Feeling sad it's over. Miss my wife and kid. Otherwise, I can stay out here for a long time. Look at this place. I need to keep hunting sheep because it really fulfills me. For whatever reason, that instinct is really strong in me. Like I have to have that, like that hunting, that pursuit of animals. But I definitely don't need to kill them anymore. I can do things that I feel are true fair chase that titrate the challenge up to make it harder. All right, all packed up. Hard to leave. It's been an amazing month. I think there is a lot of emphasis in our society these days toward doing things quickly, doing things efficiently, and even the easiest way possible. And I think that there's a lot of value in hunting the hard way. Like, I think it's okay that there's still things in the 21st century that are hard to achieve and that require time and patience and skill. If there's one thing that I'd wish for my son, it's not being super smart or being super talented. It's that he has a lot of grit. I want him to have an ability to face difficult things in life and just work harder. There's not too many things that would teach him that, like big game hunting with the traditional bow.